Hi, welcome back to Christine's Home Affairs. Today we are at the shop and I'm going to show you how to draft a basic bodice block pattern so that you can actually design your own clothes. This is a French curve, so this is the only real tool that I need to use to create my own bodice or to draft my own patterns. You don't need to spend hundreds or thousands of dollars on pattern drafting systems. You don't need to go to university. You don't need to do anything like that. You can just be a basic seamstress, homegrown seamstress, and you can actually draft your own patterns and have them work for you. Okay, so stick around. I'm going to show you how to draft your pattern. The first thing we're going to do is take measurements. So I'm going to teach you how to take the 10 measurements that you'll need just to do your bodice, and that will include the armhole. And then there are a few formulas involved with that, but what I've done is taken the guesswork out of it for you. And this is my sheet for my body measurements. So this is the formula used here. Now it looks like there's a lot here, but as I said, there's 10 measurements that I'm taking that we're going through with today, but there's different things that we do with those 10 measurements. So that's the formula. This column here is my measurement using that formula, and that's the sum of the formula. Okay, so I've created a blank sheet for you. If you want to download this, it'll be available in the links in the comment section down below. I'll make it a link that is to my Facebook page as well as my website, so you'll be able to go to those areas, download this, print it out and put your own measurements in. And today I'm going to be working in centimetres, but you can do this in inches as well. So the other thing I've done, this particular sheet is for centimetres. I've created another one for inches. So for those that like to work in inches, you can actually use that printout instead. It is really simple. It's just a couple of divisions and things like that. So there's not much at all. So let's get to it. So I'm just going to stick this up here and show you how to take the measurements, and we'll write those measurements down as we go along. Oh, the other thing you need is a tape measure. So you kind of need that for pretty much everything that we do in sewing. The first thing we need is a neck measurement. Just take the tape measure straight around your neck and wrap it around your throat, not too tightly. Oops. And that is 36 centimetres. So all I need to do is transfer that marking or that measurement over to my sheet here. So I've got 36 centimetres there. With the 36 centimetres and my formula, you'll take 36, divide it by 5, and you'll get 7.2 because I've pre-programmed all of this earlier. So 7.2 centimetres. The next measure, now I might just mention, when you're taking your measurements, it's actually better to get somebody else to take those measurements for you. You can do it yourself, but it is better if you can get somebody to do it for you. So for the purpose of this video, I'm showing you how to take the measurements. When we draft the pattern, we're actually going to draft the pattern based on the measurements that I've taken for myself. So you'll see exactly how it works out when we sew the pattern together, and you can see how closely it fits to your body. Obviously, it's always better if you can get somebody else to take those measurements for you, but this is really, really easy to do by yourself. The other thing we need to do is the neck divided by 5 plus 1 centimetre, and that's just for your ease. So you've got 36 divided by 5 plus 1, so that will give us 8.2 centimetres. We now need to measure our shoulder. Take the tape measure just around the back of your neck, across your shoulders, and just flap your arms about like that. Okay, and so where you can put the tip of your fingers just there, and you can feel the end of your shoulder there, that is the measurement of your shoulder. And that is 38 centimetres. So we've got 38 centimetres, and that will be divided by 2, which gives us 19 centimetres. Now with that same shoulder measurement, just on the next line, 38 divided by 10, and that's just because that's what we'll be using later on when we're drafting the pattern. So 38 divided by 10 is 3.8. Again, remember we're using centimetres today, but you can easily transfer this to inches if that's what you're working with. The armhole is the next measurement we're going to take. So just take the tape measure over your back, hold on to that, and bring it up around under your arm. And bring that up until it meets. And just flap your arms about a bit because you want to be able to have movement in your sleeve area. If you have this too tight, your fabric's going to ride down and you just really won't be able to do much. So just make sure that you can actually move there. And that is 48 centimetres. So armhole is 48. Using the formula, we divide it by 2, which gives us 24. The next measurement we're doing is our bust. Now, we need to make sure we're wearing the right bra for the garment that we're making. At the moment, we're just doing a basic block pattern, which is our foundation for everything else that we're making, but we still want to make sure that we've got a bra on to begin with, otherwise we might be sagging down here and it'll make the measurements incorrect. If you're making an evening dress or a strapless dress, you might have a bra that gives you a little bit more support. If you take your measurements while you're sagging, it's going to affect the strapless dress that you might make. So with your everyday bra, take your measurements. Go across the back and across the centre of your bust. And take your measurement. So that is 102 centimetres. So we've got our bust divided by 4 plus 1 centimetre for ease. So divided by 4 plus 1 is, where's my list? 26.5. What we're working on now is our waist. We need a piece of elastic just to put around your waist. Doesn't matter what size. And we put this around our waist to find our true waist. So you might be wearing high-waisted pants. That doesn't mean that's where your waist is. Your waist is where you actually find that little kink in there. I don't think my kink's very little, it's a little bit big. But anyway, I can feel where my waist is. If I'm wearing low-waisted pants, that's not my waist, okay? So you want to find your natural waist. Do a bit of a jig, just a bit of exercise, and find your true waist. And that by doing that, that helps the elastic go to where your waist actually is. Now, what we need is our shoulder to waist measurement. So just from the base of your neck to your shoulder there, put the tape measure and bring that down over your bust, down to your elastic. And that is 46 centimetres. So we just transfer that across. There's no formulas required for that. The next measurement we need is our waist to hip. So bring the tape measure down from the waist, straight down the side to where your hip is, and take your measurement just there. And that is 18 centimetres. So my waist to hip is 18. And what we want now is our waist measurement. Bring the tape measure around your waist, over the elastic, and just take your measurement there. Don't make it tight because we don't want to explode out of the dress or shirt that we're making. We just make it just as we are. And that's 94 centimetres. So we've got 94 centimetres for the waist. We divide that by 4. So 94 divided by 4 is 23.5. Now we need to add 1 centimetre for ease and an extra 3 centimetres for a dart, because we're actually going to put a dart in our bodice so that we have a nice fitted outfit. So 94 divided by 4 is 23.5, plus a centimetre for ease, plus 3 centimetres for our dart, which is 27.5. And with our hip measurement, what we need to do here is take the tape measure around our hip, and we're going to take a few measurements here. So I might, at the higher part of my hip here, take the tape measure around, and that's at 110. Bring it down a little bit and just make sure that I'm not getting bigger as I go. And I am, it's a little bit bigger around the butt. Now I need to be able to get my garment over those areas, and this is why you need to take the largest measurement. So my hip measurement is 110 centimetres. So our 110 centimetres divided by 4 plus 1 centimetre for ease gives us 28.5 centimetres. The next measurement we need is our bust distance. So taking from the centre point of our bust to the centre point of our bust. So point to point, that measurement there is 18 centimetres. And we'll divide that by 2, which gives us 9 centimetres. And the final measurement we need is our bust depth. So from the hollow in your collarbone just there, take your tape measure down, measure it diagonally to the point of your bust, just here. And that is 19.5 centimetres. Okay, so that's the only measurements that we need to take for our bodice. Now these other measurements here, these are just going to be variations on the measurements that we've already taken. So 10 measurements and we're ready to get going.